Plaintiffs Richard and Lucy Parker are suing Richard's daughter for daycare costs. Lucy says she's raised the defendant since she was 3 years old. But when she hit her teens, the defendant began acting out of control and ended up pregnant. Defendant Rachel Parker claims Richard and Lucy are drunks and gambling addicts who beat her repeatedly. So Rachel's countersuing for emotional distress.
The plaintiffs are suing their daughter for daycare costs, and she is countersuing her parents for emotional distress. Lucy, are you going to start here?
Sure, I will.
All right.
Your Honor, good afternoon. I've been in Rachel's life since she was 3 years old. Her dad had custody of her and her brother since I've met them. Her real mother has been in and out of her life. The divorce was nasty, so Rachel's been in therapy ever since she was 7 years old. She's been a good kid all up into high school, and then she starts seeing an older boy, getting low grades, skipping school, making out in the hallway.
You weren't making out in the hallway?
No.
No? Go ahead.
Then we went out of town on business, Richard and I. We got a call from Wyatt, and he stated Rachel took out the trash and she didn't return.
They were not out of town. They were at the casino.
All right, so they're at the casino. You took out the trash and you left. Where'd you go?
To my boyfriend's house.
To your boyfriend's house?
Mm-hmm.
Not the one you were kissing at school, because you weren't kissing anyone at school, but you had a boyfriend's house you stayed at.
Yes.
I'm starting to get a drift here. Go ahead.
Okay, so we came home. We knew where she was at. We went to the boy's house. We called the police so they could meet us there. She was there. They didn't want to give her to us. She was saying we beat her and this and that. And we said,
did you?
Yes.
No. Richard
Pulled
was
me out of the house.
Richard was the provider, and I was basically the discipliner, as far as that goes. I'm not going to say that I didn't spank them. He never did. He probably spanked them 3 times in their whole life,
All right. Go ahead.
So then we were taking her home. We were arguing. She said she needs to see somebody. And I said, I need to see somebody. It's December. All therapists are like skiing, so I got you an appointment for after the holidays. That's the best I can do,
Were you seeing a therapist from the time you were 7?
Off and on because of the divorce, and then a lot of stuff that happened at home affected me.
All right. And you were in school at the time?
Yes.
When you're 15, that's the time that we're talking about now. How are you doing in school?
Good. I graduated with an honors diploma and the Millennium Scholarship.
The Millennium Scholarship, what
Yeah.
is that?
It's a scholarship that Nevada provides that the state pays for, and it's $10,000.
To go to college?
Yeah.
Are you in college?
No, when they kicked me out, they wouldn't give me my diploma and stuff, so I couldn't enroll, and I needed some paperwork.
So you graduated with honors, you get a $10,000 scholarship from the state of Nevada, but you can't use it because why?
Because they wouldn't give me my paperwork.
Who wouldn't give you your paperwork?
Richard and Lucy.
Did you not give her the paperwork she needed?
She could have came and got her stuff anytime she wanted to. Okay. Paperwork, clothes, her baby's clothes, anything she wanted. Baby.
When did we have the baby?
In October of last year.
How old were you?
17.
When you had the baby?
Yes.
Were you pregnant when you were 16?
Yes.
We took her to go get a checkup, and she acted like she was surprised about being pregnant.
No, I got pregnant while on birth control.
When she's pregnant, Lucy.
Yes.
Where is she living?
We put her in a unwed mother's home.
Why did you put her in an unwed mother's home?
Because for one thing, none of them wanted the baby. Not her, not her father, nor her brother.
Not true.
You wanted the baby?
I did.
All right.
And they were going to force me to have an abortion.
How are they going to force you to have an abortion? Did you want to force her to have an abortion?
No. It was 22.
Yes.
She said she wanted to. She was going to do what her father asked. He said, I asked her to call her mother so that she could help her. And then she said, okay, I called her. She said, she's going to help me. And I said, okay, get your stuff and get out. She goes, you mean I have to leave? And I said, yeah, this is not the plans we had for you, And then that fell through. Her mother was not there for her.
She said your mother was not there for you. You're saying it's not true. Stand up, Mom. What is your name?
Linda Johnson.
Linda Johnson. All right. Your daughter's complaining of all kinds of problems at her father and stepmother's house. They put her in an unwed mother's home. And why isn't she living with you?
Because I wanted her to, but they didn't want her to live with me. And they said that the best thing for Rachel would be to be in the unwed mother's home.
You're her mother.
I know.
So what was your take on this? Where did you want your daughter?
With me. And they said I interfered too much. They're going to call the cops on me. I'm going to get thrown
How
in
can they
jail.
call the cops on you? What kind of a mother are you? This woman raised your daughter, has had her in therapy, puts her in an unwed mother's home. And I read part of this file already. And she was also at an at-risk home. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Where are you in the scheme of things?
I tried to take Richard to court.
Why aren't you there for her to fall into your arms?
She had boyfriends that were more important at the time.
Why are
That
you
is
not
not
taking
true.
care of your own daughter? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Your daughter's complaining how abusive they were to her. Where are you? Why aren't you going to live with your mother?
Because they wouldn't let me.
Oh, hogwash, you went to live with your boyfriend. You went out to take the trash and
And
didn't
they
come
called-
back. Now you want to tell me they're going to tell you where to live? Your stepmother says she sees you or the counselor sees you in school making out. You say that's a lie. And then P.S. you show up pregnant a couple months later. I mean, I don't think this woman has such bad intentions.
The counselor didn't see me.
Well, you're having sex with somebody. I'm going to imagine you probably were kissing that person too.
She pulled me out of school.
I'm going to give you one more chance. Where are you in this girl's life?
Fighting with her father in court. Every time I turn around to try and get them.
Prove to me that you fought with the father to get custody of your daughter.
I didn't bring any paperwork with me.
Did you ever go to court to get custody of your daughter?
Yes, I did.
Did she?
Your Honor,
No,
when she
right
No,
there.
sit down. I don't believe you.
Right there.
All of a sudden you show up now and you want to badmouth them. You were not around when this girl was growing up and having all the problems she was having. You know what? Get out of my courtroom. I don't even want you here. I don't like mothers who do this. Get out of my courtroom. You know what? And that doesn't mean I'm believing everything you say, but I'll be the last person to accept a mother who comes in 15 years later and then wants to criticize you for raising the daughter that she wasn't around to raise herself. Now, what are you suing her for? What are you suing her for?
I'm suing her for the daycare because after I asked her to take a walk and cool down, I told her, take your baby, take a walk. You don't like it here, go cool down and see if you think you can make a better life somewhere else, you know. She must have had a plan, you know, to get with a guy or something. It's always been boy, boy, boy about her, you know. She's been a great kid all up
Not
until
true.
she got involved with boys.
All right, talk to me, Rachel. Talk to me. It's your turn.
Ever since I can remember, they were gamblers and drinkers.
Them.
Yes. And with the whole boyfriend kissing in the hallway thing, that didn't happen. We were outside and we were holding hands. Yes, we did kiss at school. She pulled me out of school. And in the parking lot, she called me, excuse my language, a slut, saying I was going to be a little Linda and turn out like my mom and leave my kids and stuff like that.
You can't
and
call her names. You can't call kids
Your Honor,
names.
Rachel is a...
Don't even answer me, Lucy.
Okay,
You
all right.
can't call kids names. You just can't. You know why?
understand.
They wake up thinking about it. It reduces their self-esteem.
Right, I
Teenage
understand.
girls don't have a strong self-concept to begin with. You can't do this.
I understand.
You can't.
Your Honor, I understand that.
We're going to cut through this and we're getting through it. Okay. But she needs some support. And I think you tried to give it to her and whatever.
I tried and I got tired, you know, and then after she left and I found letters that, in fact, that she knew she was pregnant when she was 12 weeks and she acted surprised and did this dramatizing things at the
what do you
doctor.
expect the kid? She's not mature.
She could have came to us. We've always been there for her. We've
Why didn't you? Why didn't you, Rachel? Why didn't you tell them you were pregnant?
because I knew what was going to happen. I knew they were going to beat the crap out of me until I lost it.
Okay. Did they beat you a lot? Is that what you're telling me? Did either of you put your hands on Rachel?
I did. I've, with an open hand, slapped Rachel in the mouth because she's very mouthy.
How many times would you say you've hit her?
About 4 times
In my whole life?
in your whole life.
I don't
Okay.
believe you, Lucy. I don't believe you.
What
How about
the-
Richard? Richard, have you
3
put your
times.
hands on her?
That were
You can count me spanking these kids on
How
one
old
hand.
were they when you spanked them?
Spanking? That's different.
What
Babies.
does that mean?
3, 4, 5, 6 years old.
How old were you the last time your father hit you?
I was probably 15. This was right before I ran away. He came home drunk and I was laying on the living room floor because we just got done watching a movie and I fell asleep. He came in, kicked me in the back 2 times, picked me up, shook me and was yelling at me in my face, threw me on the ground, kicked me some more, and they never called the cops or anything.
He hit her with a pillow. He with a pillow. I
You know,
mean, yes,
I got to
understand
tell
what
you,
you're
Lucy,
saying.
that's not the issue for me
I know,
today.
but
But
it's
I
not
got
a
to tell you,
beating
I
like
don't
he-
like a guy
I
that
know.
big putting his hands on
I understand.
I did not put my hands on her.
What?
It was
Wait a
your
minute.
feet.
You went when they were this big. Okay? You're too
On
big
the
to hit
butt.
any kid. All right? You are, and you know it, Richard. There's an issue here. There's an underlying issue. I want to go back to Rachel. You have the baby. Boy, girl?
It's a girl.
She's a girl. How old is she now?
11 months.
Okay. What's her name?
Contessa Marie.
Contessa. That's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Where do you go when you come out of the hospital?
I went back to their house.
To their house.
Yes.
Are they helping you with the baby? What's happening?
At first they were, and like they complained because when I was at school, they told me.
And you went back to school after you had the baby?
Yeah, this was the rules. Like I had to go back to school and I had to finish and I had to graduate. And if I did that, they would help me without pay. And when I went to work, you know, I would help with food around the house. And I did give Lucy $40 every week.
You paid them $40 a week?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think it's $4,500? Where do you come with that number?
Well, that's just because she went to school and I babysit, and then she went to work. And it was day and night, you know, that I babysit. And sometimes Wyatt would help me out, you know. And
where did you work at night?
Baldini Sports Casino.
Okay. You know what I'm impressed with? I'm impressed with the fact that you have a baby, that you go to school, that you graduate with honors, you get a job, you pay your stepmother the little that you can. You can be a superstar. Do you know that? Okay. Now, what are you suing them for?
For mental distress and
You're suing them for mental distress? You're smarter than that. Sue your mother for mental distress.
if I
All right. Now, do you think you should pay them $4,500?
could. No,
Why?
no, they promised to help me until I
As
had
long
to
as she
go to
was in
work.
the house.
As long as she was in the house.
The whole agreement was, we'll help her with the baby. She can stay there as long as she wants. She goes to school, work part-time, or work
So
full-time.
then you're saying this $4,500 is for a time when she was not in the house?
No, it was when
haven't
she was
helped
in the
me.
house. Your Honor, what happened was that she started to drink, party, and she started to do things that were not
No,
acceptable.
but your husband just said that he said you guys would take care of the baby as long as she was living in the house.
She was in the house. She's only been gone for 6 weeks. She wants to be able to go out and have a live-in babysitter, and that's when it started getting old.
Is the baby here?
Yes.
Do you want to see the baby?
Yes, please.
Can we bring the baby out?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Jess?
Oh, she's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm the one who named her, too, okay? We're such bad parents.
Nobody's saying you're bad parents. You have yourself a little angel there.
Thank you.
And you are, Rachel, inevitably bound to them. So what I would like to do here is at least start some kind of a conversation where you and your father and your stepmother can talk about their being with the baby. All right. Your action for $4,500 against her is denied. There was no agreement. In fact, you've contradicted yourself. You basically said you'd do it. I'm not going to allow for your emotional distress cause of action. All right. Both of your actions are denied. All right. Because you haven't proven it. But I'm hoping that when you walk out of here today, you'll have some kind of schedule where the two of you can get together and go like this to all the crap that's happened, because it happens in every family. All right? Mm-hmm. So let's get past it and take care of Contessa.
I just want them to let me live my life. I'm 18. I want to make it on my own.
We love her, you know. We just want to be able to have a relationship with her and the baby.
Be able to have dinner together again. That'd be nice.